How have things been practice-wise? Overall impressions of how things have gone so far?
Really good. We got a competitive group. We're tall, we're physical, so really good.
Dusty was just saying how you guys are going to want to play above the rim this year. A lot of lobs with, he said you got 3 lob threats in Malik, Adai, and Merez. What have you seen in practice with that so far?
I'll add 4 with Jackson.
Okay.
Just Elliot Cadeau and LJ Kason being really good point guards, giving those guys great passes above the rim, and we're really athletic with Malik and Merez, and Adai is tall, so it's like being athletic. So they do a good job separating off the ball screen and getting to the back of the rim, and our guards do a good job of throwing them lobs.
You added Yaxel in there. Can you talk a little bit about his versatility?
Yeah, Yaxel is a player that can play 1 through 5. He can bring the ball up the court. He can go in the post. So he's really versatile, and not only is he versatile on offense, but he's really versatile on defense. He can guard 1 through 5.
Trey came in sort of as a combo guard. What role is he carving out for himself?
Just like with all our guards, the way we play, whoever gets the rebound, unless you're a die, you're probably the point guard. So, he gets the rebound, he gets to play point guard, whoever gets the rebound. So he's carving out a role where he's sharing the ball, he's scoring when he has those opportunities, and he's playing off his teammates.
In the half court, I mean, he was asked to do so much in high school, right? How is he developing as a creator in the half court?
Yeah, well, in our offense, we ask everyone to make the right read, so he's able to score and pass. So he's doing the same thing that everyone else is. And I think when you come to a place like Michigan and the way we want to play, you have to play with other good players, and that's almost anywhere you go. We got a bunch of good players. So like Yaxel, 17, 18, where he was, he's playing with other guys that average 9, 10 points a game. So we all got to take a lesser role and make the right plays.
What would you say is the biggest difference from last year to now in terms of this group versus last year's group?
Depth.
Okay.
We got a lot of depth, and we're physical. We're probably more physical, and maybe that's on the coaches. Maybe we're expected to be more physical in the Big Ten. So I would say those 2 things stand out the most.
What can you see Adai and Morez bring to this defense?
Shot blocking. I mean, I don't think we protected the rim as much last year. We did a little bit with Danny and Vlad, but I think they take it to a whole new element with their size and their athleticism.
Back to the point guards, do you feel like you're generating more open looks for guys based on the way Elliott plays and LJ than maybe a year ago? I know it's just practice so far. But.
Yeah. Both of those guys have a high assist-to-turnover ratio in practice right now. They're making the right reads. They're coming in and watching film and learning and trying to get better every day.
Elliott's a guy who had a high turnover rate at his previous stop. But what's kind of the secret to unlocking that to minimize those turnovers?
We give him a read, so when he's going in the lane, he kind of knows exactly where everybody should be. So he kind of honestly can close his eyes and know, all right, I have a lift guy, I have a guy that's spacing the way. So we give him reads when he goes in the lane. If he gets stuck, we have a big guy, what we call pivot duck. He's pivot ducking in, and he can throw it to him. So those reads probably make the game simple for him.
Obviously, Yaxel came in as a really strong defender, but have you seen him kind of get better this offseason?
Yeah. I mean, he played at a big-time program at UAB, but they didn't have as much depth as we have. So he's got to guard all different sizes. Some days he's guarding Elliot Cadeau, some days he's guarding Adai. So he's getting better at guarding different type of players, which I don't think he had that every day in practice at UAB, and maybe not even in the league. I think he guarded mostly 4s and 5s in that conference, but now he'll be able to guard 1 through 5.
How have you seen LJ grow from year 1 to year 2, and I guess just where have you seen him make the most strides?
I think his biggest growth came from USA camp. I think he went to the camp, he didn't make the team, and he had a chip on his shoulder. But he learned so much from not making the team and the guys that made the team, how they approached the game, and he brought that same approach coming from USA. But he's gotten much better at taking care of the ball. That's his biggest thing that he's gotten better at.
What are your expectations for this group?
Just to come here and get better every day. I think I said it with Brian. I think we have lofty goals. Everybody knows that, but we can't think about that. We just got to think about getting better every day. Making the right next play on offense or defense. Like today, we got to communicate better. We got to transition. When we miss a shot, we got to get back on defense. Like we think about that stuff, then all those lofty goals will happen if we continue to get better at that stuff.
With the size up and down this roster, I think of offensive rebounding and blocking shots. Are there other things that size will allow you guys to do?
Yeah, on defense, I mean, we were really good defensive last year. I think we ranked 12th on KenPom. But we can shrink the court with our size. The more length you have, you'll be able to shrink the court. I'm not saying with the Houston Rockets, but Houston Rockets, they're really good. They're going to be really long, and hopefully we can do the same thing. So that's what the size will do for us.
How nerve-wracking, or was it nerve-wracking during the process while Yaxel was deciding college, pro? How was that as a staff?
No, not really. I mean, as a coach, you kind of always try to be prepared, even if you don't get them. So no, it wasn't no nerve-wracking. We felt that we had a really good team without him. Obviously, he takes us to the next level, but we really felt like we had a really good team with Will and Marez and everybody here already. But, you know, getting him was like icing on the cake.
Who stood out as leaders on this team so far early on?
Our returners, man, Namori and Roddy and Will Cheddar have done a good job. They already know what we expect. They've been in our program for a year, and being in the program for a year now is like being in the program for 3 years. So they bring, you know, so much confidence in their leadership, and they know what to do. They know what we don't allow people to do. So they bring a lot of stuff to the
And
table.
how about Will in his three-point shot? I mean, it sounds like he's been working on that vehemently. You talk about his game improvement.
Yeah, Will works really hard. I'm learning from Will. He's the most efficient man I ever seen, ever coached. I mean, he's class, shots, class, fishing, everything.
Yeah.
He's really efficient. He works out once or twice a day. He's working on getting his shot off quicker, and he's shooting a high percent. I think he's shooting well over 40s in threes on practice. So
I recall last year Dusty talking about there was a practice that Will got a little too physical, and these guys weren't realizing the Big Ten's like
Yeah.
this. I mean, how has he helped his team up its physicality?
Yeah, he's definitely helped us last year, and he brought that same physicality into the summer, into the fall. But now we got other guys, you know, that play in the league, like Marez Johnson, so they know how physical it should be, and even Yaxel is pretty physical. So we got a team that's pretty. Adai was in our league too, so we got a bunch of guys that's been in the league that know what it's about. As opposed to last year, we didn't have that many guys that were in the league and that knew what it was about.
How is Mraz coming along? How's his role? How's his game evolved this year, coming from what he did last year?
Playing a little bit more on the perimeter with some handoffs and stuff, taking the occasional three, but you know, his bread and butter is his bread and butter. You know, playing as hard as he possibly can, rebounding, shot, affecting the game on the defensive end. He's really getting better with his skill level, posting guys up. So you'll see a little bit of that as well.
Keeping the bigs fresh, how important is that going to be with the depth you guys have in the front court? I know a few of you have mentioned like Florida's front court last year and the way they were able to have 3 or 4.
Yeah.
How big is that going to be?
That's huge. That's huge if you can keep rotating guys in. And, like, to be honest, we have starters that may not start for us. So if we can bring one of the guys that may not start for us, who we still consider a starter here, can come on the floor and play against a second team's big man, I mean, you'll have the advantage. So we have guys that will, you know, if we get in foul trouble, we won't get nervous. You know, last year, if Danny and Black got in foul trouble, we were a little nervous. I don't think we'll be as nervous this year. We had guys in and out of practice so far this season, this fall and summer, and sometimes we didn't even know because of our depth in the front court. So it's a blessing to have all these big guys, and we got to try to keep those guys fresh, and we will this season.
How has Elliott come along as a shooter? I think Dusty said he's shooting 50% in 5-on-5.
Yeah, I think he's shooting 50% in catch and shoot threes.
Okay.
He's doing really good. I mean, he was working at it. You know, anything takes work and confidence, and he's building up his confidence through the work. And we're getting on him. You know, any shot in practice that's open, if he doesn't take it, we're telling him to take it. So if you got your coach saying take the open shot, I mean, you're gonna feel confident. You're not gonna feel any pressure when you're shooting.
You guys expect to still be a heavy switching defense?
Oh yeah,
What, what is it about the roster that makes you feel like, okay, like we can do this?
Our size and athleticism, our lateral athleticism. You know, when you're switching, you got to have guys that's bigger to be able to stand in front of people. And Danny was able to do it. Obviously, Yaxel is more athletic than Danny, so he'll be able to do it. Marez can do it. Eli Cadeau is feisty. He's a little tough guy. You got a chip on his shoulder, so if he gets down there with a guy like Yaxel, he's going to try to front him and he'll fight. And with our size, the backside help will be really good because we're big, so we'll be able to shrink the court. So we're excited about that. Defense is going to be really good this year.
You talked about bringing starters off the bench. How does that play in a portal era where everyone's looking for the role? You have a lot of guys who are good enough to start. How do you keep everyone kind of bought into those roles?
Because we play so fast. Like, it'll be hard for a guy to play 10 straight minutes for us because we play so fast and we have so many possessions. And they know that. We talked to them about that when we recruited these guys. Like, we're going to play so many possessions that it's going to be hard for you to play really extended minutes. And that's the beauty of having depth.
How much of a day one or season one impact do you think Malik will have?
Some of that will be on how quick how quickly he develops coming from overseas. Sometimes it takes a minute for you to develop, like Adai, same deal, right? It took him 2 years to get on the court. So it'll be as quickly as he develops. But I can tell you this, he's playing against Adai and he's playing against Merez and Yaxel, so he's going to develop very quickly. You know, if he don't bring his A game every practice, he's going to get embarrassed. So, you know, he's playing really physical, and he's going to eventually be a good player. But I can't give you a time and date, but he's going to eventually be a really good player.
Adai is one of those players who didn't play a ton of minutes last year, and I know he had health issues as well. Were you surprised or impressed in any way when he arrived on campus?
I was impressed in our game, and I know he didn't play that many minutes. He drew 2 fouls on Vlad. He got an offensive rebound on Vlad. Now Vlad drew a couple fouls on him too, and Vlad looked like Shaq against UCLA last time. But yeah, I'm surprised how he moves. You know, I only saw him from one game against us, and just scouting. He didn't play as much in a year, but he moves. He runs up and down the floor pretty good. He's one of the best passers I've seen in a long time for his size.
What's the freakiest thing Adai has done?
Man, I don't know if his passes are really exceptional. He brought the ball up a couple times. He threw the ball between somebody's legs for a pass and somebody scored. So between him and Elliot Cadeau, they got the flashiest passes. So
you're fine with him bringing it up, not in a game though?
Probably not. Probably not. But no, you know, Dusty gives these guys a lot of freedom to explore, especially in the summer and the fall. So nobody came and got the ball, and he brought it up and made a good pass. But I think that was like, he did it 3 times and he was 1 for 3. So that's not a good percentage for us.
How does that passing kind of at the 5 change the offense a little bit? Because Vlad wasn't so much a guy you could play out of the high post to that level.
Yeah, it changes because he can see over the defense. So with him being able to see over the defense, it changes. You know, Vlad was 7 foot, but this guy's 7'3", 7'4". Even Merez came up to me and said, he's like, man, it's so hard to get a deflection on him because he's like whipping it around me. So just his length and his size changes the game for us because he'll be able to see over the defense.
Cubs gonna win?
I hope so. Padres need to go down. Go Cubs. Sorry about you Tigers fans.
Hey.